Looks like Disney hit the Motherlode this weekend with their live-action Aladdin movie. And big profits means big stock moves. Hang around because I've got a great Disney trade setup to show you. Hi, this is Tim from Trading Strategy Guides. Disney made over $100 million on Aladdin on its opening weekend. You know, Disney has a huge library of animated films that can perform the same treatment on, and people will go because, well, nostalgia. I know as a grandparent I want to share my childhood with my grandkids, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. And it looks like Disney stock is about to break out of a consolidation. I'll tell you about the great setup shortly, but first I want to tell you that you can speed up your video and save yourself some time. If you're even just a little bit nearly as impatient as I am, you'll want to click the gear icon below the video and select a faster speed to watch this video. Now I've got a bunch of trading maxims that help me with my trading, and I'm going to share one with you at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Things have been happening with some of the trades I've been discussing in prior videos too. I want to give you a few updates on how I'm managing those trades, and then I'll show you the great Disney trade setup we've been looking at. I hope you guys were paying attention over the weekend because Bitcoin trades all weekend, and that has caught me off guard in the past. Anyway, Friday I talked about Bitcoin, and I expected that it might close outside this triangle right here. It didn't. However, it did on Sunday, and it did in a big way too. So the volume was not quite up to the average, but it was sufficient for me to go half size on this. And this big candle is huge. Okay, this is quite a bit more than the ATR. So I'm kind of glad that I'm just half sizing this one right here. It's probably not too late to get in on this if you want to. The buy volume is better than the sell volume, but it's still wimpy, as you can see. So remember, I want to see at least 75% of the average volume to enter these positions, but I'll only go in with a half size if the volume doesn't reach the volume average on these moves. Will you take a look at Kraft Heinz here? It busted out for sure on huge volume. I sold this on Thursday, and I mentioned it on Twitter, I believe, and talked about it on Friday's video. And within the first 10 minutes this morning, this thing had dropped down here and hit my first target. So my trailing stop is currently at 30.72-ish. 30.70-ish to lock in 72 cents on the second half. But this is currently up $2. So I'll probably move my stop down to 30.45-ish to lock in $1 on this trade. Last Monday I showed you this descending triangle on Nike. Today it looks like this low is under attack. Kind of the market's closed now, and we've got a break of this low right here. It's on good volume, so I have taken a half size, and the reason I've only taken half size on this is because it has not yet broken this 81.08 level right here, which is a weekly support level. I'm going just half size on this to make sure if this thing explodes tomorrow, I'll be on it. My stop is up here at 1.5 times the ATR, which is the ATR here is 153. So my stop is up here $2.30, 83.50 right here. My first target will be 79.67, which is equal to 1 ATR. At that point, of course, I'll take half off and I will put my stop back up here at break even on the second half. Now, if I get a close that doesn't push too far down here below this 8108 level with good volume again, I will put the second half of this trade on. Friday, we got the close below this triangle on crude, way below on big volume. So I told you that I was going to wait for it to pop up and retest this 59. The level is actually 59.14, but I was good with 59. So I opened this today at 59. I also wanted to see it do this retracement on mediocre volume. I took a look at this. This is fairly big volume here. Yesterday was a holiday, so we didn't get too much action. I wanted to make sure this volume was not part of this whipsaw. In case you're not familiar, the color of the volume bar down here, corresponds to the direction of the candle. So if you get a red volume bar down here, that just means the candle it represents was bearish and closed below the open. In this case, the green candle is just the opposite. That means that the candle that it represents was bullish and the close was above the open, which is the case here. So it doesn't always tell you, you know, when you can look at a bar like this, you can say, well, yeah, significant portion of this, it started up here, it closed way down here, so a significant portion of this volume was pushing down or was selling volume. But in this case, it's hard to tell because you've got a whipsaw candle here, a doji with long legs. So what you end up having to do is drilling down to a lower time frame. In this case, I'm going to drill it down to the hourly, and this would be the beginning of the daily candle right here where this line is. And you can see that starting here, all the really big candles are red candles. Well, most of them. But so the lion's share of this volume today on this candle was red or bearish. So in any case, I'm short 59 right here. In case you missed it, you know, it's still pretty close. It's 59.06 now. So it's still good entry, I believe. The stop, as always, 1.5 times the ATR. The ATR, you can look right down here, and this will show you the current ATR, 161. So the stop loss is 1.5 times that, or 242, added to my 59 entry. So my stop loss is at 61.42 up here. My first target will be 1 times the ATR, or $1.61, which is right here at 57.39. That's the way I have this set up, and we'll see what it does. Disney absolutely hit it out of the park with the Aladdin film this weekend, exceeding $100 million at the box office. And as I mentioned earlier, Disney has a whole library of movies they can do this with, so you can expect a lot of this in the future. I personally haven't seen this yet, but it has Will Smith as the genie, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to miss this. Plus, did I mention I have grandkids? Anytime I see a stock making big news like this, I have to take a look at the chart. It's just what I do. That's how I find these good trade setups. And Disney did not disappoint me. For those of you who may not already know this, I love to see big consolidations. I look for these patterns. I look for a drop off in volume. Nice pattern, nice big juicy triangle, wedge actually, drop off in volume. Drop off in volatility right here at the end. So I look for these patterns, and anytime the volume and the volatility drops off like this, it just demonstrates how much money people are willing to invest in this stock. And of course the volatility represents the average true range, which is simply an average of the total length of the last 14 candles. So the smaller the candle, the more insignificant the importance of the candle. And conversely, the larger the candle, the more significant the candle. Or as a friend of mine always says, small and insignificant candles are just that, small and insignificant. So anytime the ATR goes up, the importance of the move also goes up. Or when it drops like this, let me move this out of the way so you can actually see it. When the volume drops off and the volatility drops off, that just means that the interest in this move is dropping off. So anytime the ATR goes up, combine it with a big volume move like this, the importance of the move goes up. This consolidation, traders are getting bored with this. Fewer and fewer investments are taking place here, and just the last several days, the last week or two, the candle sizes have been dropping off quite a bit. This pattern here is known as a bullish descending wedge. And you know what? It doesn't really matter what it's called. When you see a wedge like this, we're thinking break to the upside, okay? When price is moving down and consolidating and getting tighter and tighter and winding up, as I say, the trader's interest is reduced here, it's dropping off. This pattern is getting ready to break, and it's getting ready to break most likely to the upside. Okay, this particular pattern, I'm not interested in a break to the downside, and that can happen. You know, patterns are never 100%. If this breaks to the downside, I'll look for another opportunity here, but I think that we're looking for a break to the upside because that's what the bullish wedge typically does. Here's the plan. We're going to look for a candle close above this pattern with at least average volume. This is the volume. I've got a 20 period moving average on the volume here, and I want to see the volume hit at least the average. Okay, I can make that bigger if it's squeezed up because of big bars over here. You can make it larger just by dragging this up, and you can see it hit the average a lot better here. So I want to see this hit average, and if it does, I will buy it. Get a close, and I want to see a daily candle close above this. We'll buy it. My stop will be 1.5 times the ATR. You can read the ATR right here. When your cursor is over here, it will show the ATR, in this case 229.30. Let me underline that. Underline right there. And when our cursor is back over here, it will show you the ATR. So it's $2.29 in a little bit. Multiply that times 1.5. In this case, about 3 or so. You can do the math. And subtract it from your entry price, and that'll be your stop loss. Then take 1 times the ATR and add it to your entry price, and that'll be your first target. At that point, you'll take half off of your trade when price gets up there. Move your stop loss to break even, so at that point you'll have a free trade. Now if you don't get average volume here, make sure that you get at least 3/4 of an average of the average volume, or there's no trade. If you get at least 3/4 and less than an average, then go in half size with your trade, because that will reduce your risk on a signal that is less likely to continue. If you want more details on how I manage this trade, follow me on Twitter. I'll put the link below the video. Also, if you want to understand how I manage trades, I did a video on that a week or so ago. I'll link that trade management video below as well. Okay, it's my favorite time, and I hope it's your favorite time too. Trading maxim time. According to the dictionary, a maxim is a general truth, fundamental principle, or a rule of conduct, or sometimes it's just a proverbial saying. I use these maxims to help me not only in my trading, but in my life focus. I wish I could claim credit for writing these, but most of them come from my reading. I just add to my list whenever I find something that fits. But they help me out, and I hope they help you as well. Today's maxim, number 45. There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when circumstances permit. When you're committed to doing something, you accept no excuses, only results. Emily Tanner. Emily Tanner was a key figure in the founding of the Utah Women's Suffrage Association around the turn of the 20th century. To be a successful trader, you have to be committed to it. Just a passing interest is not sufficient. Trading is not a hobby. Hobbies cost money. Hopefully you want your trading to make you money. So you have to have a commitment to discipline. Okay, remember we're looking for a daily close above this wedge on Disney to buy as long as you get at least average volume. If the volume is not quite average, I would go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Also, I want to make sure you know that there's some awesome deals on the products at Trading Strategy Guides for the U.S. Memorial Day that we had this weekend. Check it out soon. The sale ends tomorrow, so I'll link the page below. Go see what they got. And be sure to come back to this YouTube channel every week. Monday and Friday for my analysis videos, Wednesday for my training webinar, and check out the blog for great trading strategies. I'll put the link below. Also, follow me on Twitter. If things happen on my trades between these videos, I'll post them on Twitter so that you guys can see when I make change-ups on things. I'll put the link for my Twitter below. And tell your friends all about us. Help us make this the best trading channel on the internet. Also, comment below if you want to see something, if you want me to try something different, if you don't understand my explanations or something, please let us know. I'll be glad to change things up, help you guys out. That's what I'm here for. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and hit the thumbs up below. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.